Hello and good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Today it's myself, Edward Lowdell, Truck's English solicitor, and I'm joined by Nyby, our operational excellence manager for Europe, who's based in Scandinavia. Good morning, Bjarke. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the clandestine entrance service in Truck Controller. The way it's going to work is that I'm going to talk through some of the processes and the slides, and then Bjarke will follow up with the practicalities, showing everybody how it works on Truck Controller itself, and also on our Truck Controller app, and then we can answer any questions as we go. So the agenda for today, we're going to start by talking about subscription to the service. How do you subscribe to clandestine entrance Truck's offering on truckcontroller.com and also on the app? How do we create a security checklist? So as a quick reminder, a security checklist is a document that drivers use to show the controls, the checks that they make to their vehicle along the journey to make sure that there's no clandestine entrance in the vehicle. We can talk a little bit more about that later on. Next, we're going to be looking at creating the supporting documents. So that the security checklist is one of 4 documents we have. We also have a register of security devices, written instructions, and a training certificate. These can be uploaded to truckcontroller.com by PDF. And we're also going to show you how you can do this from your mobile phone. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about how to act in case of control. Okay, as a little introduction, transport companies and their drivers are required by English law to take certain measures to prevent immigrants breaking and entering into their vehicles and entering the UK legally. So they need to do this to avoid fines. And the system is comprised of 4 or 5 elements. The first being the security checklist we just spoke about. The second are the supporting documents, which is the written instructions, the training certificate, a register of security devices, and the 5th obligation is not for the driver, it's for the company, is a requirement to monitor that drivers are carrying out these 4 other documents: the security checklist, written instructions, the training certificate, and the register of security devices. As a refresher, on the 13th of February 2023, this year, the UK government changed the policy on clandestine fines, increasing the standard fines for carrying clandestines and introducing a new fine for not securing a vehicle. So the maximum fine for clandestines is 10,000 per clandestine for the driver and 10,000 per clandestine for the company. And remember that companies are joint and severally liable, so the company is responsible here for a liability of £20,000, and the new violation that was written in the law is for not securing your vehicle. Here it's 6,000 for the driver and 6,000 for the company, and again the company have joint and several responsibility, so that the total penalty here could be 12,000. So if you carry one clandestine entrant and your vehicle isn't secure, the maximum penalty here could be £32,000, which is a big change from the previous regime. Okay, so moving on to our first topic, subscription to the service. How do we subscribe to the clandestine offering in Truck Controller? The first step is to go to the Truck Controller portal, www.truckcontroller.com. From the home menu, we have to click on contract subscriptions and cancellations. Once we click here, we click on drivers, and then we click on you find the driver that you would like to subscribe to the service in the list of drivers, and on the right hand side of the screen you click on the green plus, the register, and once you click on this button you should see this window for the driver. Select which services you want to register this driver for, and we need to make sure that the clandestine entrance UK offering is ticked. And because this service is offered through our app, the driver also needs to be registered for GPS as well. So here, the important thing for drivers is that drivers are registered for the Clandestine Entrants UK and for GPS. As I said, that's drivers. There are also some obligations for vehicles. Looking at the cost for the driver, as I said, we've got subscription to Clandestine Entrants UK and subscription to GPS. Each of these has a cost of £3.50 per driver, so it's €7 the cost for the driver. During the month of May, this service will be free for clients, so clients can test it, try before you buy, if you like. And some of our clients who are using our other services will already have potentially GPS contracted if they're using the Guru Truck app. So it might be the case that you don't need this the GPS to be contracted. Some of our clients will remember that we actually almost launched this service a month ago. And what happened in the meantime was that we had shown Border Force our solution, and we got some feedback from Border Force that they wanted us to add some additional fields in the checklist, and in particular some fields about the vehicle. So they wanted us to add the details of the vehicle and the semi-trailer. So in the meantime, we've been updating our checklist to make sure it's compliant and to include these new details. So as a result of this feedback, namely that we need vehicle and semi-trailer details, both the vehicle and the semi-trailer will need to be added to GPS contract as well. So this also has a separate price of £3.50 per vehicle and £3.50 per semi-trailer. So these are the costs for the service, and this is how you subscribe. As I say, in terms of how today will work, I'll walk you through the slides, and afterwards Bjarke will show you in practice how this looks and feels and how to do this. So before Bjarke shows this, I'll move on to the first topic, which is the creation of the security checklist. So here we're now moving away from truckcontroller.com, and we're moving to the Truck Controller app. So if we open the app in our mobile phone devices, we need to log in with the driver first and foremost. Once we're logged in with the driver, we select the UK Clandestine, which should be more or less the bottom option. You'll then see three different buttons, and here, because we want to create the security checklist, we click on Create New Security Checklist, and we then proceed to fill out the checklist. As I say, we can look at the details in a moment when Bjarke walks through that. Some important points about checklists. So when do you need to create the checklist? So the checklist needs to be created each time a driver has a rest or a pause or spends any period of time away from his vehicle. And of course, this is in the context of trips to the UK. So the way that our checklist works is it records your checks at a particular moment in time. So for a journey, there'll be at least three times to make the checklist: after loading, after each intermediate stop, and a final check before arriving at the port. So each of these will be recorded on a separate checklist. So because the company, the driver, the vehicle details, even your location potentially can come from the GPS, and the date and the time, this will extract this information from the app automatically. So this will automatically be filled in, and then you record the checks that the driver's making. So each checklist can be completed and saved independently, and they can be shown to roadside enforcement, or equally, if someone in your traffic department wants to check. For example, I said that the fifth responsibility is a company responsibility. This is monitoring. So if the company wants to monitor that drivers are filling out the checklist and making checks to their vehicle during journeys to the UK, this can be sent to your office for someone to check that the checks that drivers are making. We also have the option, once a checklist is saved, we can go in and we can edit that checklist if it turns out that you forgot to fill in a particular detail, or you made some mistake, or you can go back in and edit a checklist. And as I was saying, once a checklist is completed, this can be sent to anyone, just as much your traffic department or roadside enforcement. We'll look at precisely how it's done a little bit later on, but this is one of the 3 buttons that we saw. So from Clandestine UK, you would click on list of all security checklists. You select the desired checklist that you want to send, and then you send them by email. So I will now pass you over to Bjarke, who's going to explain and show in practice on Truck Controller and on the app how to do these things. So over to you, Bjarke.
We go to the contract subscriptions and cancellations, we don't like. And then we go to the drivers, and now it will show the drivers from my test account. And on this, you will find a driver that has some of them have clandestine entrance UK services. There's also other services that you can have. We'll pick one. We'll pick this one, Carl, who have not registered for the clandestine entrance yet, and we'll find a green plus with the register on, and then we will tick the GPS, and we will check the clandestine to make sure that he needs the GPS as well, and he didn't have any of the services. We'll tick those 2 and push the save button, and now he will be able to use the clandestine entrance services for the checklist. I think that's pretty simple how to create the service for make the service available for an individual driver. So this is everything that's happening in the office. We have here in the normal browser, and we have just logged into Truck Controller, as it was just explained us before. On the right side of my screen over here, I have an emulator of an Android device. So this is what we would offer to the driver. I've here logged in as Andres, and he has all these services available on his Android device. Of course, the clandestine services, what we're talking about today. So this is what I will tick, and here we come into the 3 different buttons that we have on Andres' device. So we have the clandestine documents, we have the list of all security checks, and we have to create a new security check. So I'm not sure, should we create a security check now, Edward?
Yes, I think the first 2 issues that I spoke about were the subscription, and then later on creating the checklist. So I think it's the right time to go through creating a checklist.
Yeah. Please. I think the UK flag has got a little pale, but anyway, we'll take the bottom, and here you will see that we are into now create a new security check. So we are about to make a check. We have a pre-populated of the company, the driver name, the vehicle that we're using, the vehicle type as well. We have the date, and we have the timing in here as well. And then we can put in a location for this check, so where we are. So let's say we are loading in Paris. So this is what we're doing. So, and then we have different. So just after loading is what's happening now, because we are loading. But we could also make a stop, or we can make a final check just before we cross the border. So we will just do after loading right now. And then which security devices have you used? And we have seals along, and we have a lock along. I don't think we have anything other today. So we will just have a seal, and then typically the seal will have a number, and we are so it's a brand new pack of seals, so it's a 001, the seal that we are using today. Then we will go through the list, and there's a few things, but make sure you read the list, because some of it can only be done if you break the seal and open the lock, and some of it can you have to answer no, and of course some of them you have to answer yes. And by now, if nobody changed anything, I would know exactly which one to take where. But I'll just scroll through them. So check the load space is secured against unauthorized access. Yes. Secured against unauthorized access. So it's check the cargo. Yeah. And check all locks and seals and other security devices for sign of tampering, damage, or unauthorized repair or replacement. So we just put them on, and we check them before we put them on. Scroll a little bit, check the cables and the straps. Eyelets change for sign of tampering, damage, sign of. So we've checked them, and they are good to go. check other shell or fabric cover against unauthorized access, yes. All external storage compartments, yes. Wind deflectors, yes. Check beneath the vehicle, yes. I'll just make a small scroll again. Check inside the vehicle. So inside the vehicle, as we just loaded it, we had the opportunity to look inside the vehicles. We'll take the yes. And it's again inside the vehicles, unauthorized access. Check no person has gained unauthorized access, yes. Check all necessary documentation is correct, yes. And any signs noted that a person has gained or has attempted to gain unauthorized access in the vehicle. I don't think I saw anything like that when I was going through the check. And from a third party carried out the about checks. Endorsement from a third party who carried out the checks. No, it didn't happen. Okay, and then I can save the list. Anything you want to add?
So I think if I can just, I think here there's a few things to say. First of all, as Bjarke has correctly mentioned, be aware of checking inside the vehicle. So if you have a seal applied to the vehicle and you want to check inside, of course, after loading, before you seal the vehicle, you can check inside. But once you're on the road, if you want to check inside the vehicle and check the roof from the inside, you'll need to break the seal to look inside. And so when you carry out this check, you need to make sure you're recording or you're applying a new seal to your vehicle. And secondly, there's a trick question, the second last question here, which asks if there's any signs that someone's attempted to gain access or entry to the vehicle. So we often see cases where clients will just tick yes to everything blindly without properly reading. So border force have put in this question just to make sure that people aren't ticking yes to everything. So you need to read the questions carefully. And the last question about endorsement from a third party. This is, for example, if you've carried out your checks to the vehicle and you've been in the presence of another driver or somebody from the port or from another company, or that someone else has seen you doing this, then you can tick endorsement by third party. This is what this box means.
Okay. I hope everything is clear, and if there's any questions, put them in the box, and I think Edward will see them. I'll just save the list, and we have now saved the security list. If we wanted to create the next list would be an intermediate stop, so it could be on the way from Paris to where we want to cross the border into UK, and we will put in an intermediate stop instead. And then you have to do all the same things again. And of course, you have to be aware whether you open the truck to look into it or not, in terms of whether you want to shift the seal then. I don't want to go any further down this road, but you can have as many stops, intermediate stops, as you want.
Yep, and I think in the example that Bjarke is using, if a vehicle was going to the UK and they made their loading in Paris, then probably there would be a pause between Paris and maybe arriving at the port. So we might have an intermediary stop, and then we would arrive at the port to make the last stop. If, however, we were starting from Poland or from Romania, then we would expect there to be a lot more intermediary stops. So we might have 5 or 6 checklists, one after loading, one after each intermediate stop, and then before arriving at the port. So those will all be saved as individual checklists in the way Bjarke has just shown. So I think for the time being, I will take back control and we will carry on talking. So this is, we've now looked at how you subscribe to the service, how you create the security checklist. And if you remember in the beginning, I said that there were 4 documents on the road. One is the security checklist. The other 3 supporting documents are the registry of security devices. This is a document that records the company giving certain security devices, a padlock, a security cable, and seals to the driver to use on the road to secure the vehicle. Written instructions being the 3rd document, and a training certificate being the 4th document. The written instructions are a reminder for the driver as what procedure to follow when he's on the road, and that the training certificate is a reminder that the driver has been trained. So how do we create these documents? These documents differently from the security checklist. These documents must be created in truckcontroller.com. So if we go into Truck Controller, we need to download the templates in the desired language. So we have from the home menu, if we click this time on Guru Truck Legal Services, and then we click on the Union Jack flag, the templates required for clandestine control. This will open a pop-up window whereby we can select a driver, and then we can choose which of the three supporting documents we want, the register of security devices, the written instructions, the training certificate. We can choose languages for the documents. They can be just in English or they can be dual language. Here we've got quite a few languages available. We click to download the PDF, and we need to fill out the document. So here it's important to remember that we're inside truckcontroller.com, and later they will be available in the app. So once the company has downloaded these documents, they need to complete them and sign them, and then re-upload them. So Bjarke will show this process in a moment. But to re-upload the documents from the home menu, we need to click in Fleet Manager, Document Management, Drivers with an active contract, and then we can choose through various methods. We can upload a PDF from your desktop. We can drag and drop a PDF, or a feature which some clients seem to like using is through your mobile phone. You can enter truckcontroller.com in your browser, and you can take a photograph on your mobile phone of a document, and this can be uploaded. So here we've got lots of different options of ways to upload these supporting documents. When you upload the new document, you need to choose which type of document it is between document 73 to 75. So document 73 is the register of security devices, document 74 are the written instructions, and document 75 is the training certificate. As I said here, from Fleet Manager, document management, drivers with an active contract. Again, we'll click on we find the driver that we want. We click on the little green plus sign, and then we select the type of document. As I said here, between 73 to 75, we can choose a document start date. We can say that the document doesn't expire in some cases, or that it does expire. Of the 4 documents, the written instructions should be issued every 6 months, which is very important, and the training certificate should be every 6 months. The other 2 documents, the security checklist and the register of security devices, these documents must be completed every journey. So of the 4 documents, you have 2 which are completed every journey, the security checklist and the register of security devices, and 2 which are completed every 6 months, the training certificate and the written instructions. And so from here, we can drag and drop. We can select a document from our desktop. Or as I was saying, we have the other option on a mobile browser. You can also enter into truckcontroller.com, go through the same link, and here we can click on the button, create a new document from a mobile device. We can select an existing image in your photo gallery, or we can select your camera and take a live picture. So whichever method we've used to upload these supporting documents, we will be, once they're saved inside truckcontroller.com, they will then be available in the app to download in the section clandestine documents. And once they're in the app, these documents can be open and shown and or sent by email to roadside enforcement, to a border force agent, and or the fifth responsibility I mentioned, that the monitoring, they can be sent to your traffic department in-house, so anyone can see these. Okay, I'll now pass you back to Bjarke, who will show you how the supporting documents work in real life. So over to you, Bjarke.
Thank you, Edward. I really hope there's some sound again, so that could be nice. So, can you hear anything, Edward?
I can hear you.
That's really good, really good. Okay, so we will go into the truck controller. So we are at the office in this case, and we will go into the Guru Truck Legal Services, and down here in the right corner, right bottom corner, we will find templates required for clandestine control. I'll take this button, and we will select a driver. We will select enters again, and let's say that we want written instructions. I'll take it in English, and I'll download the PDF. I'll open the PDF. And here we go. We can see that the company is pre-populated, and so is the driver name. The date, I think today is the 9th of May. So this is it, and we will of course read very carefully through this, and then we will have the signature down here. And of course, if you are using the telephone to photograph, you can have a signature, handwritten signature, or you can pick the digital signature in the Adobe Acrobat, or you can write a signature like I'm here. Of course, it has different validity whether you do the one or the other. Let's see. We'll have to. I'll just put the 9 3 in front of it so we can find it again, and I'll save it. Okay. So now we created the written instruction document. I'll go back to my truck controller on my desktop, and I'll go out to the menu now, and then I want to upload it so that it becomes available for the driver in case of control. So I'll use the fleet manager document management department to put this in to the driver. And of course, I would like a driver with an active contract, and the top part here is for searching who has the documents, but in this case we want to upload the document, and we have Anders here, so he's on the top. For him, he gets all the thing because he's on the top, and then I'll tick in here. I'll select the type of document, and it was the written instruction, the 74. And I'll take the start date. The start date is today, and the expiry date should be at the 9th of November, as far as because it's 6 months from now. So it's a Thursday. I think I'll let it expire on Monday, so I have a week's time there to make sure I can fix it before it's too late. And then I'll select documents directly on my desktop. I have this one, and I think it was the 9th of May, right? So I'll put it in there, and I'll open it, and we have there, and then I'll just put in a small notice, because the program had decided that it's very important that we put in something there, and and now it's uploaded and would be available in my app.
I think it's also important to say that this is the templates we have available are for clients who don't have any existing documents. Of course, Chuck and myself have been doing clandestine cases for a long time, so we do have lots of clients who do have existing written instructions, existing training certificates.
Yes.
So the clients that do have these in their portfolio already, these can be uploaded in the same way. You don't need to use our template documents. You can use your existing documents. And so it can work in collaboration with new clients and with existing clients. I think, Jakob, we just had a comment from someone. Can you please move your screen up a bit so he can so they can write the path where to click?
Like this, and if you want to have a look at these paths, I'm pretty sure you'll find them in the newsletter that's on our webpage on the news as well, and they'll be in tons of different languages there as well.
Yep, absolutely. As a reminder, everything that we've spoken about today, the written protocol was sent out in the last newsletter, so clients can see it there. But I think here, in order to see it from the home page, it's the fleet manager, document management, drivers with active contract, and then here you select the driver that you want, and you click on the green plus sign, and then you select the document type.
We can show them, but I only created one document this time, and then you can go and pick the document you want.
But I mean, in theory, here you could upload any document.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to
Okay.
show them then how it looks in the app itself?
Let's go, and it's the same driver that we already logged in with here. So I'll go to Clandestine documents, and
Just to show them the
yeah,
documents here.
yeah, the document is right there. And if you want, you can just send it to the officer that is controlling it.
We can look at the sending in a moment. Maybe you can just show the view.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
The view document exactly. So here you can
And
see
then we
this
can
is on the driver can show this on his mobile phone on the roadside, or as Bjarke was about to show, we can also send it via email, which we're just about to talk about in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I'll take back control if I can. And here I think Exprimo as well, you can see these buttons as well if you didn't catch them before. Okay, lastly, how to act in case of control. If we start by looking at the supporting documents from the truck controller app, which you've seen a little bit, we select Clandestine UK, Clandestine document. And from here, we should be able to see a list of documents that we have uploaded, which is, as you've just seen with Bjarke, these are documents that are uploaded to truckcontroller.com. And we can either view the documents, also as you've just seen, or we can click here, which is send document by email. So if we do want to send it to someone in our traffic department or to roadside enforcement, we click here, and then a window will open whereby you write in the desired email, and this document will be sent to whoever you want. So here, in case of roadside control, we have two options. You can either view the document and give your mobile device to roadside enforcement, or we can send it to a nominated email address, whichever they would prefer. So that's how we show supporting documents on the roadside. What do we do with the security checklist? A very similar process. From the truck controller app, we select Clandestine's UK. This time, instead of clicking on documents, we're going to click on list of all security checklists. And as I said before, that each time we fill out a checklist, this will be recorded as a separate document. So we might have 3 checklists for a trip, or we might have 5 or 7 if it's a longer journey. So on the left-hand side, we need to select which checklists are relevant for this journey. And here we're then going to click on send via email. We write in the nominated email of, for example, the Border Force agent, and this will then merge these checklists into one document. So even if you've selected 5 documents, this will be received by the police officer or the immigration officer as one PDF document when they receive it. So we fill out the email address here. We click on send document by email, and then it goes straight to the email inbox of that person. So I'll hand back to Bjarke, who'll show you that last step. Over to you, Bjarke.
Yeah, I'm still here. And there's still sound?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, so we are back in the cabin of the truck, and we're now entering into a control situation. So we want to show the police officer the documents, and we already saw the clandestine documents before. We can just take a look. So here we have the written instructions, and we are able to show them in case the police officer wants to see it. And then, of course, the checklist that we actually did the checklist. So what you're seeing now is that you can. I've started in Paris a few times during the past days, but we can, if you tick all the documents as Edward said, you can send the checklist, and then they will be merged into one document. Let's see what. There we go.
And you can see here there's no limitation, so this can be sent just as much to a Gmail account as to an official police officer secure email, to anyone.
And yes, we send off the checklist, and yeah, in a few seconds we will have the real checklist available. And otherwise, I have like the TV kitchen. I also have one
Yeah,
in
here's one I
spare
did
for
before.
you. So you can see the email here, and I think this, and then it will open up the PDF. It comes in another screen, so I'll just move it over to the screen where you can sit. And this is the one from yesterday because it's date of May. Yeah. So
These
you
are
have
the
the
written
PDF and
instructions, supporting documents.
yeah. So, yes, I think that's but that's pretty much how it works. I will let know when I get the when I get the final file in my mailbox. Not
Okay,
exactly sure why it didn't come. Yeah, I think
in the
the other day it
meantime, I
came a little
can
bit
give
faster.
some updates.
Yes.
So I'll go. So, as I said, the new penalty regime came into force on the 13th of February 2023. So, what have we seen since then? We have certainly seen an increasing number of new cases. I think to begin with, Border Force decided not to open any new cases until April. So we've seen it in the last month quite a lot of cases, and these are the new cases with the maximum penalty of £20,000. Sorry, per clandestine, not the old scheme of 2,000 per clandestine per driver, and the company being 4,000 in total. There's two stages in the clandestine entrance process. You have the beginning stage, which is an investigation process where there's no fine imposed, and you then have the second stage where there is a fine imposed. So we haven't seen any fines being imposed yet, but we have seen lots of cases in the first stage. So as and when these cases move to the second stage, we will let clients know. But Border Force are issuing fines, and there are lots of cases for it. The second thing we've observed, which is quite important for clients, is we've seen cases where Border Force have opened a case where the vehicle has not been secured properly. In the beginning, we thought this would only be reserved for cases where clandestine entrants were found in the vehicle. But actually, if you go to the UK and your vehicle isn't secured, if you're not applying a padlock, a seal, and a security cable to your vehicle, you can receive a fine with a maximum total of £12,000. So absolutely independent of clandestines, if you go to the UK and your vehicle is not secure, you could face a huge risk here. So clients really need to be aware of that fact. What else have we observed since February? We've seen the first successful accreditation that we applied for under the new laws. So this took 3 months, which is quite a long period of time, but I think that shows that this is a serious process that does take some time. Clients need to develop properly their documents in the system, and they do need to spend some time applying it and collecting new training certificates, and checklists, monitoring, all these 5 steps. So it does take some time. We have been in dialogue with Border Force, and they do hope that this time period will be reduced. So hopefully this will become quicker. But it is a serious process that does take some time. So as a reminder of several things to ensure reduced risk and reduce liability, it's very important that all clients making transport to the UK join the Border Force clandestine entrant accreditation scheme. If you're on the accreditation scheme, you'll get a 50% discount in any fine. So this is very important, and the other 50% discount will come from using the system you have in place, that being security checklists, written instructions, the register of security devices, and your training certificate. And companies, the fifth thing is the monitoring. So you'll get the other 50% discount from using your effective system. So being accredited and applying the system is the only way to ensure that you can avoid these clandestine entrance penalties. And secondly, I would advise clients of the importance of always ensuring your vehicle is properly secured. This way you can avoid these new penalties of up to 12,000. And if clients are interested in the accreditation scheme, please do get in contact with your client manager, who can advise you on that process. So, sorry, Bjarke, go ahead.
Some people experienced a problem with the app. I think it's they just need to do the latest download. At least it's working. It's working from here, and you get all free control checklists available. So that's it. I also just wanted to use the opportunity to promote our gurutruck.com, the news, and here you will, on the UK language, you would find the news showing a lot of the stuff that Edward also showed you in the presentation. So if you want to have a look at it, you can find some of the links or the ways to get into the different services if you get a little bit lost. It's I think the presentation is supposed to be like a ballet, and this is then when it comes to real life, the steps might be something that you want a little bit support on. So that's I think that's all from my side. Any more questions this moment?
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, we can open the floor up to questions if there are any.
Yeah. I think that's really fine.
Yeah,
I think the latest
do have questions,
the latest
they can
client
get in touch with their client manager or with Gurutruck at gurutruck.com. Did you have something you wanted to add, Bjarke, before we close?
I just think we saw one of the latest clients who got the complete accreditation, put it in the signature of the company to use it as a promotion as well for potential clients wanting to have transport into UK, that they have this accreditation and they're using the controls to make sure that they're compliant with accreditation. So I think this is not just something that you to satisfy the border, but also to set border control, but border force, but also to satisfy your our clients.
Yeah, definitely, I think it's a quality control. Some people are paying it in the UK. There's a security process called fours, where you can have a silver, bronze, or a gold standard, and in the same way, if you're Border Force accredited, this shows that you're a serious transport company, that you have proper policies and procedures in place, and that you're applying these. And so, no doubt, this can help you win contracts for transportation. And as Bjarke said, we have seen clients who have putting Border Force accredited in their email signature, in the same way people do this with ISO standards or on your website. This is something that definitely can promote your business.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Thank you very much for listening in, and
we'll talk soon.
Talk soon.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.